podcast. I'm Mae.
I'm Max.
And I'm Ben, and we were had.
Can you believe it?
There are twists and there are turns.
Defleshed is a standard death.
Oh, that's fun.
We were had.
We were. So today we're talking about the green children of the Woolpit, which I don't know why it's spelled this way. Maybe it is a British thing, but it's Woolpit. This is all about a wolf.
Wait, really?
Why? How do you know it's pronounced Woolpit then?
And that's what they just... Oh, you think it's like pronounce it? There's no F.
Wait, I'm so confused.
It's spelled
phonetic-
Woolpit.
Exactly.
So
but
where do you get the
it refers
wolf?
to a wolf pit. I guess where a pit where they trap wolves, and that's where these green children
Woolpit.
emerge from.
They were
Wow.
born. They would live with wolves.
Don't let me get ahead of myself.
There's actually nothing really about them living with wolves, but we'll talk about why it's weird. So, yeah,
Did you
go
ever
for
see
it.
that documentary where about like this woman claimed that she lived with wolves and then she turned out to be a big fat fucking liar? Do you remember that?
And then they interviewed the wolves, and they're like, "We don't know this
Yeah.
person at all."
And she said that she was like running from Nazis and she like escaped the Holocaust.
This
and
was a recent story.
Yeah, and she wasn't even fucking Jewish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we knew it was a lie when she said she was running from Nazis. How do you run from ghosts? Let me tell you that.
Off to a hot start here. So there are two main sources.
I
for
love
this.
weaving in other conspiracies. Just right out of there.
Because this one's going to be somewhat lame, but throwing in the
Let's get
throwing in the
spicy
biggie.
up top.
That's fair. So this happened almost 1,000 years ago in England, in the eastern part of England, and there are kind of two main sources for it, and the two stories differ a little bit. Sources from like around the time period.
Did you say 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, so it's during the reign of King Stephen, which is between... Go ahead. Say
Yes.
it.
It was between. If I'm getting it, hold on. This is. It's 1,012 to 1,018.
Not bad.
It's Steven.
1,135 to 1,154.
Oh, you're using the different calendar. Okay, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
you're-
Okay.
You're going lunar. So I'll start reading a little bit of this article first to just kind of get across what actually happened. So this was an exceedingly fertile region in the Middle Ages, blah, 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 this area. I guess part of the point is that like there were people in this area. It wasn't like really the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And
1,000, 1,100 Middle Ages, or what is that? That's just
Yes,
normal,
Middle
that's normal
Ages.
time, Middle Ages?
Yeah.
So it's not
Normal time.
It's not quite dark. Yeah, when does shit become... I consider Renaissance, Shakespeare, shit's just becoming normal. Like culture, like human beings are starting to be like, maybe we poop under a roof. You know what I mean? Like it's like...
When is that? 1500s? People are pooping in?
Well, the ancient Romans had indoor plumbing, but it didn't become a real hot thing.
Well, that's the
until-
whole idea, right? That they were like, Greeks and Romans and all this stuff, and then there's a long period of not pooping indoors, and then suddenly Da Vinci is like, hey, I think we should.
I think we should maybe poop indoors.
Poop indoors,
Everything comes
irrigation.
back to poop. Let me tell you that. All right, sorry, please go ahead.
So it's a summer day. Harvesters at work in the field notice two strange children emerging from a wolf pit. There's a boy and a girl. There's no real specification on their age, but young. This
How
in
do we know
itself-
their gender?
They were fluid.
You assume. Anyway.
That's what Chris's main contribution. Chris's contributions are either extremely woke or extremely unwoke, and nothing in between. All right, so this in itself may not have drawn their eyes as being out of the ordinary, but even a brief glance at them was enough to bewilder the villagers, for these children did not look exactly human. They had heads and arms and legs, all right.
Okay, all right. Whoa,
right.
good start.
They have 10 fingers and toes, too?
Everything in proportion, faces, typical features, but their skin was a verdant, good word, green color.
Huh.
And
Verdant.
Yeah, I think that means green. I think it was actually...
Verdant is like a vibrant green.
Verde.
Vibrant green.
Yeah.
Kelly
Clothes,
green.
Clothing was an unrecognizable style. In colors so strange they defied description. When the harvesters approached them, they seemed afraid, acting skittish. They spoke, but it was in no language the villagers of Woolpit recognized.
Aliens.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. There probably are aliens.
Okay, next. Okay, end of episode, I guess. Yeah.
Guess we weren't had.
Yeah. Okay.
And there you go.
That's it.
Concerned for the children's welfare, the villagers conducted them, nice people, conducted them to the nearby manor of a knight, Sir Richard of Calne in Wyke. There they were given food, but they refused everything.
Oh.
Despite appearing famished, as though every dish offered them was unpalatable or even inedible. So, not eating at first.
Okay.
By chance, some fresh-cut beanstalks were brought in, and the green children sprang at them ravenously, seeming to recognize something they could eat, although clearly they were unfamiliar with them, for they tore open the stalks at first, not realizing the beans would be found in the pods.
Weird.
Now,
they're-
do you think they grew up with giants?
Yeah.
There's some intersection
Yeah, okay,
there.
that's part of it.
There was also another thing, which I obviously cut out, but it was just like 5 paragraphs on like, it was probably fava beans, but it might have been, and just like going
you-
through
you're
different
like,
beans. I was like, we gotta cut
Okay.
this.
They ate the fucking beans. Okay, that's all we need to know.
These beans were the only thing they would eat for some time, but one daring taste at a time during the long weeks and months after their discovery, they tried other food and eventually acclimated to a normal English diet, which is gross.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
Fucking beans on toast and shit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I can't imagine, like, it's not that weird that these little green kids looked at some British food and were
exactly.
like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Fish and chips.
You don't have to be an alien to be like, that looks bad.
You need to put vinegar on everything you eat. That's a problem. Okay?
That London food is bad.
It was so bad.
Honestly, there were some restaurants that I genuinely enjoyed, but like, if your only good food is like a fine steak and fish and chips, what are you doing? Why are there so
Yeah.
many jams?
Oh, is that a big
And
thing in
there's
England?
dinner jams, and that's
And-
not my jam.
And tarts and blood pudding.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew.
There's too much blood.
Oh, when you
and
say
there's-
it like that, it does
Yeah.
sound pretty good.
First of all, the
It's not
meat,
bad.
meat pies.
Meat pie,
Meat
come
pies.
on.
What are we doing?
What's
Yeah.
haggis? Is
Haggis?
that Scottish?
That's
That might not be
Scottish, you
English.
racist.
Also, does not look appetizing.
No.
Never had it. But
Those
does not look
eggs and the
appetizing.
weird, like, meatloaf. You know what I'm talking about?
What is that?
They're like hard-boiled eggs in like fucking meatloaf, and you cut
Well,
down
that
the
actually
middle.
does sound up your
Only if it's from CVS.
from CVS.
Only from CVS.
Only from CVS.
And
Yeah.
if the eggs are soaking in a weird liquid.
Haggis is a savory pudding containing sheep's pluck minced with onion, oatmeal, suet, spices, and salt mixed with stock and cooked while traditionally encased in the animal's stomach.
What?
Through now, an artificial casing is often used instead.
Oh my!
And these kids didn't want to eat.
They did not. They just wanted. So eventually, they do have this English diet,
God bless.
and their skin slowly lost its greenish color.
Oh.
And the other thing is that they brought them in and baptized them.
Oh,
So they're making them.
Oh, everything has to come back to fucking God, huh?
The boy died very young.
so funny.
He's not green, but he's dead.
At least he is baptized.
He died a non-green Christian.
How many kids were there?
Just two.
Just two.
Boy
Okay.
and girl.
All right.
The girl grew up, and there are different stories of like what the rest of her life was, but apparently she had just like a
Regular
normal-ish
life?
life for the rest of her life.
She good fucking?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, who was she fucking?
Was she fucking?
She fuck
Oh,
anybody?
this is about her. So not only did the girl learn to eat a variety of foods, which is
Not to brag.
yeah, but she also learned to understand English and express herself to her benefactors. So this is important because then she's going to say where she apparently came from.
Oh, great, yeah.
Yes. Spill it. Spill the beans.
Years after appearing in the wolves' pits with her brother, it is said she explained to the knight, Sir Richard, where they had come from. It was a land where everyone and everything was of a lush green color, where the sun never fully shone, being lit by a perpetual misty twilight. She and her brother, out tending their family's cattle, followed the herd into some caverns where they had become lost. Hearing the peal of bells, they followed the sound and emerged from the caves into the bright sun of our world.
Isn't that just Finland?
So, yeah. So they were just in a cave, I guess?
They were in another dimension.
It sounds like their description of it is that they were in some other world,
Like
realm,
Narnia.
whatever it is, and then
Yeah.
kind of Narnia, like opened a pathway into wherever they ended
That's
up.
sick.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Next.
Can you, if you eat food that's all the same color, do you turn? This might be the stupidest thing I've ever fucking said in my entire life.
Turn you
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
What is it, tomatoes? Turn you orange or something?
Carrots.
Carrots, sweet potato, that gives you that. I don't know if it's a vitamin or a
Yeah.
mineral. Yeah, that gives you that. But there are people who like get, especially fingers. They
Really?
Get very
I know
orange.
from an
Yeah.
episode
Oh.
of Scrubs, there was an orange man, and it's because he ate a lot of two things that, when mixed, makes you orange. Because like,
Oh.
one thing makes you red, another thing makes you like fucking
Yellow or something.
yellow.
And then
or so- yeah, I think that the two of them
orange.
were orange. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then also liver stuff can make you yellow.
Yeah.
Your skin
Right.
yellow,
But
eyes.
John-
green.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a vegan friend, but he doesn't actually eat
He doesn't
vegetables.
actually eat
so
vegetables,
that's,
no,
he only
he's-
eats vegan
He's just
pizzas.
turned
Yeah.
into an
Yeah.
Impossible Burger. Yeah.
Ironically, he eats at McDonald's all the time. 'Cause
Oh,
it
he
has-
was totally fine with Burger King. That was
Yeah. Oh, Burger King. They have the Impossible.
They do.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So again, so there are two sources. They differ a little bit. They say the same basic idea, and there's also the idea that like they probably didn't know about each other, the two sources, which adds some credibility to this being a real
What
story.
do you mean the two sources?
The two people who originally reported this story of the boy and the girl,
That's wild.
Ralph and William, are our two
What about
writers.
the knight? What
The
happened to
knight,
him?
no, the knight's the guy who like actually knew them.
Yeah, but like no one. He didn't talk to anybody.
I guess he maybe reported the story. Yeah, how Ralph and William got these stories because they were
Yeah.
writing later. I don't know. A
Did
friend told a
he-
friend. Yeah.
So he was basically the parent. Who killed that little boy?
No, the boy just died of natural causes.
That's what the knight wants you to think.
He's just trying to throw in more mystery.
I'd like to spice this up a little bit. Oh, dead kid. All right. We've done this episode
Probably got
before.
fucked by Sir Richard. And then he was like, well,
Oh my god.
I'm just saying. Then he had to off him to shut him up
They
before he learned.
You
he
guys are
learned-
throwing in stuff that's not the mystery. You're putting in theories.
Yeah, but
That's
at least
what
it's
happened.
hot.
And that's definitely what happened. And then people were trying to teach him English, and he was like, "Oh no, this kid's gonna talk." Then they offed him.
That's a story.
That's a story.
You're
Yeah.
calling him a diddler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir Richard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's part of
His
the
name
royal
is Sir
family.
Dick.
Sir
Not in my notes, but
His
I
name
did.
is Sir Dick. You don't think he's laying pipe?
Okay, so one of these writers, William, says that the girl called her home country's St. Martin's Land, claiming that everyone there venerated that saint, a major figure in Western monasticism, whose November feast day, a harvest festival, has been compared with Halloween. I guess the big part there is that her land was also Christian. So that makes me feel like not supernatural, you know.
Yeah, just fucking hippie bullshit. Or that this is also a thing. I could see people that are making up the story, the people that she's relaying it to. Like she said it was, we were worshiping Xenu. The knight was like, sounds like you meant Saint Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a little of that, yeah. Or
That's
she
funny.
reported the story so many years afterwards when she already had become a Christian. that she,
Right.
She was like, it's Saint Martin. I guess it was Saint Martin.
Yeah.
Right.
Going back to what actually happened to her, it's a little bit differing accounts, but according to one of them, she became a servant in the knight's household when she told her story, and she had turned into something of a, they keep saying wanton and impudent, that she was kind of a jerk.
She was a rebel.
Yeah. William reported that she went on to marry a man from the nearby town of Lynn, where she was known to be living just before he had written his account. So I guess she just kind of lived her life.
Commoner, or what was he?
I guess commoner. Doesn't really specify.
Would have been cool if she became like a royal.
Yeah,
If she
that'd be cool,
became,
yeah.
She fucked her way to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely fucked Sir Richard. Let me tell you something.
I thought you said the boy. You're switching the story.
Both of them.
You don't think he was fucking both those kids?
You know that he had nefarious reasons for taking these kids under
I
his wing.
love starting that sentence with "you don't think."
What's funny about your conspiracy, May, is that neither of the kids could speak English, and then he killed the boy who couldn't speak English, but then the girl who he also molested learns to speak English but keeps her
He
mouth
would be able
shut.
to sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, you're newer to the pod, but this tracks. I mean, we've been down this road. I think May knows what she's talking about. It sounds like that. You're not a fucking knight living alone in your little castle. You take two little kids that
Green
can't talk
kids.
into your house. Oh, yeah, he's just raising them with his hole.
Oh yeah. Double blowjob. That's what we're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah. They're not putting that food in their mouth, but I'll tell you what they are.
And they survived off of pills.
Their skin was cured from pure.
They were green in the face, but they weren't green in the bedroom. I'll tell you that.
It's fun being able to say these things because it's 1,000 years ago. I mean, not that we don't say it, but it's like,
If it happens a long time ago, it's chill.
Oh God, when will YouTube shut us down?
Nah.
I don't think we get enough views.
Yeah, we're not on their radar.
I'll make it work.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
All right, so there's debate about whether the story is true at all or if it's a fable. I mean, there are a million tales and fables come out of this stuff. What was a little weird to me when people say it's like a fable is I always thought that those like have a moral of some kind.
Yeah,
like this does not have
exactly.
a moral.
The moral is, don't fuck the night and tell people about it, because that's what happened to little guy.
Yeah, exactly. Shut your fucking mouth. That's the fable. Snitches get stitches is the fable.
But there are a lot of. I guess I'm just not as good of a literary.
Read between the lines, Ben. It's right in front
I'm very
of you.
literal. I'm very literal. I didn't get it.
Oh, that's not a part of the story at all. You just made it the story.
That's
is
the whole
not.
point of this episode. Is that not what this is?
I do not see it here in my notes.
I'll start looking for some stuff.
Yeah, start looking.
I'm gonna use a
The
VPN.
greatest
though.
Google searches.
I'm gonna use a VPN before I
Night
do
fucking
it.
green children?
Safe search. Okay. In the 1990s, Paul Harris, some dude, argued for a commonsensical explanation, suggesting that the children were actually members of a Flemish settler family that had lost their parents, perhaps having been displaced due to anti-Flemish laws passed in 1154, or having been the victim of violence by Flemish mercenary supporters of Robert, Earl of Leicester's 1173 rebellion. So, Flemish, by the way, I think is like Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Well, phlegm can be green.
Phlegm can be
Phlegm can be green. Does that make sense?
They're Flemish.
Yeah.
P-H-L-E-G.
Flemish.
I think the real story is that the Flemish enacted pedophilia laws, and so then the parents were like, out of here, and then they picked them up. See what I'm saying?
Well, don't make it weird, Chris. Now,
Who mentioned pedophilia?
yeah, I don't know why.
We're-
You're saying the word outright makes it feel wrong.
You're right. They could be aliens.
That's true.
There we go.
Yeah, that's way
Now it's not weird.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Intergalactic.
So Flemish dyeing and weaving practices were known to produce unusual clothing, Harris asserts, and their unrecognizable language obviously would have been Flemish. Having said that, it seems like the Sir Richard or whatever, he would have known like, oh, that's Flemish.
Because
Right,
That's
exactly.
weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Right. I don't like when we have to actually think about something. Well,
But maybe they were alone together for so long.
I'm confused.
Maybe when they were alone together for so long, they just kind of made up their own thing. I don't know.
Yeah, twinning. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, like silent twins.
Right.
Because they had their own thing.
They had their own
Yeah,
thing.
Were they twins?
No, but brother and sister. Oh, we don't know. We don't know.
Maybe.
What if they weren't even related?
I guess that's possible.
Yeah, maybe they were fucking.
What?
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Interdimensional.
Okay, so now the green skin thing. What's that all about?
Right. Well, if they have dyes on clothes, I guess they could just get into your skin.
Think so. The main thing they talk about is chlorosis, which is also known at the time as the green sickness. There were some good things about chlorosis. Not good, but
Multiple?
interesting things. Multiple
Multiple
Or
sclerosis.
just regular. Just regular.
just one chlorosis. Solo chlorosis.
Singular.
Monochlorosis. Chlorosis explained their skin color. Anyone with familiar with that supposed illness would consider the suggestion ridiculous, since it is widely accepted that there was never any such disease as green sickness.
Oh.
Apparently, this was a made-up disease. Here's why. Chlorosis was also known as morbus virgineus, otherwise known as disease of virgins. It was a common 19th
That
century.
explains why they stopped being green after moving in with old Dick. Let me tell you that. That's where the color comes in, huh?
So, common 19th century diagnosis for symptoms that today might be attributed to anorexia nervosa or simple anemia. It was said to be a hysterical condition relating to the womb that could be entirely cured in young women by marriage, as through intercourse, semen would settle the womb.
Oh
Actually,
my God.
Very related to what we were talking
That-
about.
I can't
Yes.
believe I was right this whole time.
Yeah. Can I also say that doctors back then, Jesus Christ.
Genius.
I mean, what a time to be alive when they're like, you need some cocaine.
Yeah.
And they're looking at this girl and they're like, she needs to get fucked. And that's what's gonna bring her back to zero.
There was a
That's it.
sketch by... sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, didn't they invent like dildos so that women wouldn't be hysterical
Yeah,
anymore?
they needed to finger blast abroad.
Yeah.
She was like, I just want to vote. And they're like, you're being ridiculous.
Wow, you're
and you need a dick down.
hysterical. Right.
A friend and I once... I don't think we actually made this
That's
sketch,
so
but
funny.
the premise...
It's called medicine.
We came up with the idea of a sketch. I think it was more his idea. I'm not saying his name.
What's happening?
He came up with a sketch where the premise was that there was a small town and there was a murderer killing all the virgins in the town. And then there's a town meeting where the detective's like, I'm going to do what I have to do. Fuck every virgin.
What?
That's so funny.
Great idea.
It was a couple years ago now. We stumbled upon Ben's old YouTube channel. Do you remember that one sketch that was just, oh man, they swung over the fences, bro.
That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And then you took it off
I took it down the second that I showed it. I mean, I was probably like just starting, not stand-up, but comedy in general. I made those sketches. I thought it was not bad.
It was the funniest. It was literally
dark.
It was the
It was
funniest
dark.
thing I've ever fucking seen.
It was
But-
Yes, but it's funny because you know me.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's extremely offensive. Then you took it down, and I was literally mad at you for taking it down. I was like,
Yeah.
"How could
Coward.
you deprive me
Coward.
of this? This was amazing."
I'll send you a private copy so you can
thank
have
you.
it. Yes.
Thank you.
Send me one too.
All right, no
I'm
problem.
gonna post it.
God, that was so funny.
That was funny.
Well, now I'm a SpongeBob star. Can't have that.
That's true. Nickelodeon's a brand.
So that could be a possible explanation, the green sickness thing. The other thing is,
But it's not real.
It's probably not real. Yeah, right, that's a good point too. You know what I mean? So we don't really know too much about what it could be. I mean, I guess just malnourishment could lead your skin to look greenish.
Yeah.
And the fact that when they started eating even this terrible food, they lost the green pigment or whatever.
Okay.
Or maybe like a genetic, just weird anomaly. Like,
I don't
Yeah.
want to rule out that they're Narnia. They may have come from fucking caves.
What's kind of fun about the aliens thing is that maybe they were aliens, or they could have been one of this early story could help explain why when we think of aliens we think green.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So even if that's the explanation,
little green
that's kind
men.
of interesting.
Those
yeah,
are little green
Martians. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Good point, Benjamin.
I appreciate it.
Good for you.
I took it from someone.
Isn't there this? There was like an incest. I mentioned this on the chat, but the incest family that was blue. You know what I'm
So
talking
I don't
about?
know about this.
Okay, you know what I'm
We
talking about?
made this story of two children
No.
so sexual.
Dude, so there.
You put in like the blue people with alopecia, and I was like, yes, the Blue Man Group. I don't know what you.
no, not with alopecia in the Appalachians. Yeah, in Appalachia.
I read it as alopecia.
Yeah, so there's like this one family, and they're all like a bluish tint, and they're like supposed to be the most inbred family in history or something like that. Anyway,
That's hot.
yeah,
That's upsetting.
And they all look insane.
Did you say that's hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Was that not the right reaction?
But maybe it's something like that, but then in this case, they were just green.
Yeah.
To make an
Maybe.
argument for aliens,
Yes,
back
please.
to the beginning here.
Please.
And obviously, okay, different language, different people speak different languages. It's 1,000. It's year 1,000, so obviously you're like, I guess they're green. They could have just had a little grass in their face, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
for aliens,
Grass stains.
the Saint Martin,
Grass stain.
they had a couple of grass stains on their skin. It's whatever. And they wouldn't eat beans. Okay, I'll call Ripley's.
They don't have soap yet.
They don't have soap. Yeah, you can't get a good wash.
They
going on.
do
Yeah.
eat beans.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
only
the
thing
only
they
thing.
eat.
But I will say, like the Saint Martin thing, like that's not an argument against alien because Christians always slip that in everywhere. And the kids also said that God was with them. That's a bullshit. You know what I mean? They're from another world. They hopped over. That's pretty clear. We were had.
I'm Maximilian Spinelli, and this was Weaver. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and it is one of those things where it's like it's so long ago that you don't know.
I don't believe any of this.
I don't believe
It's all an animated feature, as far as I'm concerned.
That'd be a fun little program.
What?
Like 2 little green kids, and they have to find their way in the big world.
Well, your version of the story is
not.
very
Yeah, it's gonna be dark.
Ours is
Yeah, but every Disney plotline's a little dark. You know
I
what
think
mean?
that's a little more.
I think the conservatives would be up in arms about that
Pixar
one.
is more adult. Pixar is yeah.
Pixar. Yeah, I mean, in Encanto, those kids are getting fucked by night, right? That's
Subtext.
yeah,
Subtext.
that's the
It's all
subtext.
We get it. Listen.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this week on
All
this
right.
story. Is that long enough?
Oh, yeah. I think we've been talking for a month.
Jump out of your chair.
Yeah.
It's like
30
about 30 minutes.
Perfect.
All right,
It's the
well,
usual
we've been
episode.
had.
All right, see you in hell.
Bye.